taxes, inflation, and the breakdown of the family are causing us to fall behind. We have the lowest net worth in the United States, and I'm sure those numbers cross the border as well.
Some people get the disability tax credit and they don't open the registered disability savings plan, and that's where the government puts in all the money of grants and bonds for a person with a disability who has done all the steps. Some people don't do all the steps.
Good morning. What is up? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that team, since 2020, we reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. So as always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. What's vibing, Ryan O'Neill Knight?
Hey, the vibe is good. The morning vibe is always good. Good to see everyone. Right. And for those, just a quick refresher, my name is Ryan O'Neill Knight, one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. We work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to figure out what stage their business is in and then help them create a strategy to grow their companies exponentially. And I'm also founder of a social enterprise called Detailing Nights. So we provide mobile waterless car cleaning. So we go to people's houses or their offices, clean their cars on the spot without using water, and are plant-based, eco-friendly cleaning supplies. So shout out to Liquid Green products from Janet and Fred Cox. Love their carpet cleaners, all-purpose cleaners. And also this past Sunday, we were with Jamal from M-Pro Graphics. He had, what does he call them? Like the pop-up showcase at the Ajax flea market. So Detailing Nights and our young entrepreneurs were in the parking lots demoing our car cleaning, making believers of those that do not believe in water. You can clean a car without water. So we converted a few on Sunday.
Nice. Good. So let's do some house stuff. Always subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. We've passed 1,500 subscribers. Also, I'll put it out there. On August 12th, we'll be doing a giveaway. August 12th. So mark it on your calendars. August 12th, Monday, August 12th, we're going to be doing a giveaway. So anyone who's watching live, you'll have a chance to win a very valuable, healthy prize. Not going to go into any more detail. Also, follow the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. To advertise your business, product, or service on the show, feel free to email me, dr.vibe at the vibe.show.com. And join the Morning Vibe Discord group if you want to. Would love you to. And email me, dr.vibe at the vibe.show.com. So I'm beginning to catch up and post some previous episodes. So I posted 2 out of the 3 conversations that we've had about the BBPA saga, and the next one will be posted in the next few days. So all 3 conversations about the BBP journey this year are going to be put up on in the Discord group. Also, program alert coming up on this Friday's show. Wayne Harris will be back on Financial First Fridays, and he'll be talking about financial concepts for the culture part 2. And another thing I didn't put up there, but if you are around on July 30th, which is tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to be hosting a conversation talking about Toronto's gun and gang culture. And I'm blessed to have a lady who is a subject matter expert in that area coming on, and she's going to bring on some individuals that are either involved currently in it and some who have left it and trying to stay out of it. So that's 9 p.m. Eastern time, Tuesday evening. So that's a little recap. Hey, when you coming back to Scarborough with your cleaning, man? You
gotta figure out the date. Yeah, it actually might be within a couple weeks. Back to Auburn Town Center. Yeah,
waiting for that. So we don't have any friends on today. So, and plus Ryan hasn't been with us for a while. So we want to know what's going on in Ryan's world in regards to what's been going on. You know, you got lots of stuff going on, and we can talk about any conversations. I know you asked me before we went live about the celebration of life for Louis March. So,
right. And even with the conversation tomorrow, is it about like, what does that conversation look like?
I don't know if his name will come up, but certainly he's going to be there in regards to that, because that was his passion in regards to getting rid as much as possible of gun violence and all. But I think it's a start of a continuous tribute to him. Let's put it that way, indirectly. So I may even say as we start the show that this conversation is in honor of Elder Louis Marsh. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
that's cool. But then also, so as much as what's going on in
sorry, the celebration for those who are interested in attending the celebration, it's being held at St. Lawrence Market, downtown Toronto, which is like Front and Church Street, on August 25th. I don't know where you find. There are a few people who are posting out on Instagram, but you have to register for it on Eventbrite. So hopefully you'll be able to find it on Eventbrite. If you can't find it, get in touch with me and I will share the link with you. But I have a feeling, I know it's going to be very, very, very well attended. So if you are interested in going, I would say register now, sooner rather than later. And also a different book list had an evening just this past Friday of memories of Louis March. I didn't find that out. And again, I'm getting there with WhatsApp. I'm getting there. So I looked at my WhatsApp on Saturday. Oh, someone forwarded it to me and I said I couldn't make it. But there you go.
Right.
Now, I'm quiet. It's Ryan's show. Bye.
It's all good. So your thoughts on awards posthumous? Like, do you find it's disingenuous when they could have given awards to somebody when they were alive, and then when they pass, now all of a sudden, they want to honor them?
Well, are you just saying in general?
In general, yeah.
I'm one of the concepts I really believe in is a living eulogy, and I give this credit to a gentleman who I keep in touch with periodically named Robert Leung, and he said when we first met a few years ago, he said, Dr. Vibe, isn't it interesting that a lot of times people save the best of what they want to say about someone during their eulogy? Why aren't they doing it while they're on? So whenever the words come out, if they're honest and sincere, it's great. I just believe more that you should be saying them while that person is on the earth. Just a thought.
Absolutely. Do you find that there's enough platforms to celebrate our elders? Like right now, I know when they come to events and speak, usually they get like 5-10 minutes. But do we have any? I don't want to say events. They're probably not. Events is not the right word. Like I don't know, dinners, just elder circles where we can actually just listen and learn from those that have fought. Like someone like Aita Sadu would love to just sit down and hear about her story. You know, like
okay. I'm gonna hold that thought for just a second. I just want to recognize some of our friends here. Wayne Harris. Good morning, gents. How was your weekend? Actually had a conversation with Wayne, introducing him to a potential new collaboration partner on Friday. So Wayne, thank you. And also a group that he's a part of, 100 Strong, had their graduation of young Black men out of their program at Upper Canada College on Friday. So I saw pictures of that, Wayne. And Wayne, we need to get someone from 100 Strong on this show. If it's you, great. If it's someone else, like maybe like Ainsworth or somebody else, I'd love to get them on. So I'll put that invitation out to you. And another thing, Ray Williams, who was one of the founders of the Black Opportunity Fund, I mentioned this a few weeks ago, has now been not elected to the board of the Canada Mortgage and Housing Agency.
CMHC. Yo, that's
yes.
you.
So I had shared with the family here that I was going to reach out to him. I did reach out to him. He is in Trinidad and Tobago till about the middle of next month, but he is on he is on the radar to get on the program. So we're working on that. Drea Rich says, I do think posthumous awards are disingenuous. They don't mean anything to me when I'm dead.
Okay.
Right. Drea Rich. Okay, we got that, Drea. And also says, and good morning, gentlemen.
Thank you.
So Wayne Harris says, Lennox, Ainsworth, Donald, or one of the teachers would be a great idea. So Wayne, I'll reach out to you offline. Love any one of them or all of them would be. I'd love to have them on. I would love to have them on. So getting back to the posthumous awards are disingenuous. I understand where you're coming from. Sometimes those people don't want to be. Yeah, that's another thing. They just say, you know what, I'm not into all that, etc. So it all depends on the individual. But I believe one of the things that I've heard bandied about for numbers of years is that there should be either, especially there's a digital archive of our elders, like conversations with our elders, and that would outlive them, so we could refer back to them, because we're in a time now where we're losing elders. We're also losing people who are younger than elders who have made a positive impact on the African Canadian and the Canadian community. And once they're gone, it's it. Like, I think that a perfect example. Okay, hold on. So Wayne says posthumous awards might mean something to their family and the community. There you go. Go ahead, Ryan.
Well, that's why I love the book that a different book list put together, the Blackhurst one, because it just documents people that were in that area and that people that we should know that we're advocates and we're fighting for the Black community. And again, there's no mechanism that I've seen where we can just go somewhere and learn about, like maybe I guess a museum's maybe a bit.
Well, hey, hold on. A number of years ago, the Ontario Black History Society, did they not have something? I don't know where it stands right now, but I think that probably the most impactful way to have it is have it online.
Absolutely. And similar to the gentleman that was doing it with the music archives.
What you met him at the Globe and Mail.
Yeah, I want to say Thomas, but I feel like that's wrong.
What's his name?
I'll check my phone. But that kind of archive.
Phil Vassell.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, so he's doing the Canadian Black Music Archives. Yes,
right.
Something like that. Doing some, and it's so anyone who is thinking an idea, let's talk. But the big thing is, it has to start and getting the sponsorship or money, because that's a lot of. It's going to be work, because people may have to go physically to these places. So, okay, so Wayne Harris says Rosemary Sadler, Robert Small, or Kathy Grant might be able to help with those archives. All right. So nice. Yeah. So I know Rosemary would be a good source. Robert Small would be a good source, and I know Kathy Grant is been doing documentation of things like that for years, and it's so I know they've probably I have a feeling they've been approached for doing something, so there must be a reason, and I could understand maybe justifiable that they need to get a team, and it's not a cheap venture.
Absolutely. And we haven't had Rosemary Sadler on for a while. She was like
one of our. You know what? Actually, we need to get her on, because she just published a book. A children's
nice book. Okay.
So you know what? Thank you for the homework. That's good homework. I will reach out to her today and say because she just in the last month or two, and I saw some stuff where she's doing some reading somewhere for her children's book. So definitely
with Emancipation Day coming up, that was that she helped put together. So
no one's coming on for. See, and here's the thing.
Right.
Get back that age-old thing that we somewhat had someone on in regards to emancipation, because we had one of the programmers from Harborfront on last week about Island Soul, which is a celebration around the weekend and Emancipation. But okay, so here's what I'm gonna say. How come you haven't reached out to people about Emancipation Day? Right. Well, okay.
There's a lot happening. So yeah.
Well, but again, how I haven't heard anything. Again, that's the thing. I haven't heard anyone's not saying anything about Emancipation Day. Haven't heard.
Well, the train ride from I heard that was, and I did hear that on Flow 98.7. So they're starting to get the word out.
Well, in light of the transitioning of Elder Louis, that's going to be a very powerful, emotional event.
Yeah,
he was very much involved in that. Very much involved in that. So, we'll see. We'll see. It would have been nice to had someone on. And hey, Dick from Bookless people, they know about this platform. Nadine. Okay, Wayne says Nadine Williams was also involved in Emancipation Day events. Is that past or present? I'd like to know. I could. And the thing is now because Wayne's on Friday, it's probably going to be that spot is taken. But again, this is where we have to communicate better in regards to that. Oh, okay. So he's saying yesterday. Okay, yesterday. All right. Good stuff.
Oh, gotcha. Well, and because it's on, I guess, this Thursday, the one thing, this is what I was thinking. In Brampton, they actually have an emancipation park at near 407 in Dixie area. Okay. So I'm curious what's happening in Brampton. I'm gonna have to check to see what they're doing on Emancipation Day to celebrate. I don't know if they're doing a flag raising or an actual large event, but yeah, with a park actually existing, you would think they would want to get the word out about what's happening at the park. So definitely check into that.
Okay, so this is why this is beautiful to do this conversation, because we have great families. So first of all, Opal Inspired is here saying good morning, everyone. Always follow her artistic creations on her YouTube channel. Robert Small says, Kathy Grant would be a successful person to contact. She has a wealth of information that has yet to be seen by. Okay, so Robert, I'm going to ask a favor. Would you be able offline to share me Kathy Grant's information? Because the least I'd like to do is have her on the show.
That would be great. Yes.
That would be the least. So if you can, Robert, I'd appreciate that. And I would reach out to Kathy Grant this week and have her and at least get her on the show. Because I know I've seen some of the stuff she's done on her Facebook page, and she has archives and documentation that a lot of people don't know about. That need to know about, like I don't know about myself, and there's a lot of great information that she has put down there. So if she could do that, that'd be fantastic. But yeah, I think preferably doing it while they're alive, yes, and that if they are willing to do it.
Yeah, true. But that's where even it's not so much about a person being willing to do it. It's like things that are happening, just like all the information, the recordings. Another gentleman, oh my gosh, Dr. Winston LaRose has so much footage. Like
there was a documentary that what's her name, Allison Duke did of him.
Yes, right.
Those are the sort of things we need to, or even just go to their place and do an audio conversation.
Right.
Like, something is better than nothing. Like just have your recorder. And sit there and chat.
Just give space and time to hear. Yeah, exactly. A lot of times you only get the sound bites.
Absolutely. We've got here Brenda Elizabeth Williams goes, hope you're both doing fine. I am. I can't speak and will not speak for Ryan. Says, great job. Give people flowers while they're still around. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, thank you, Brenda, for contributing and being part of the family. Yeah, I agree. I think while they're around, because time never lost a fight.
That's it.
And getting back, going back to Elder, or as I call him, Dr. March, I think I probably was the last, and I can't say 100%, but as I mentioned before, a few months ago, there was a conference called the Leg Up Conference put on by an organization called Brothers Who Care. And they asked me to do like a 15 to 20 minute on stage conversation with Elder Louis. I think in that arena, that may be the last conversation he did from a stage.
Right.
And this is why I say to people, document things. I have that documented. Yeah, it was done on an iPad. It's done though.
It's captured. Yes,
it's captured. So definitely some time in the near future, we'll be playing that conversation on the Morning Vibe, plus conversations we've had with him on the Morning Vibe also. But that's why documentation is important. Very, very important. But you know what? We're going to take a break. We'll come back in a few minutes. We'll continue the conversation.
And when we come back, I'm curious to get your thoughts on, are we supposed to be riding this Kamala momentum, this Harris campaign? Are we supposed to be getting excited here in Canada?
Very good. All right. So you see, Ryan didn't hear much, but when he comes here, he drops knowledge bombs. We'll be coming back in a few moments. And audience, we'd love to get your thoughts. Are you part of the Kamala wave or not? Keep it locked.
Hello, everybody. My name is Paige. I am a marketing consultant and the host of More Than a Mom, the podcast. I am here at the Soundwave Summit, and I had the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Vibe, and the gems he dropped were unmatched. An accidental conversation really changed my whole plan. And if I had him 3 years ago when I started my consulting career, it would have made a major change. The biggest thing that I learned that I'm taking with me is understanding that I do not have a show, I have a solution. And I think that's something that's not talked about enough. Another thing that really adjusted my mindset was the power of positive language. I was telling him about some of my problems are asking for help. I'm always pouring into other people, but it's hard, and it's a problem that I can't get that same thing in return. And he said, it's not a problem. It's something that, what did you say? Not a problem. You said, oh, it's a challenge. It's something that's a challenge for me. And that simple adjustment of language, I went away to lunch and I called 4 people and I'm like, hey friends, we need to change our energy. We need to change our outlook. We are solution-driven people. We do not need to do things the way society tells us to do things. This checklist that we feel like we need to fall under, this 10-minute conversation we had, it changed up everything. So I'm so thankful for the gems. I feel like I'm going to go back and make a whole new to-do list that's based on how I need to do things, a different way of looking at things, and I'm just so thankful. So thank you, Dr. Vibe.
Thank you, Paige. You know what I got to do? I'm going to have to invite Paige to come on the show because I'm going to invite Paige to come on the show. So we're going to see what we can do to make that happen. So one of the things I did over the weekend is I did a lot of catching up on stuff I had to get done. So most of my day yesterday, I was not out in the heat and it wasn't humid. It was hot. And I said, okay, this is a time. So get this stuff done on Sunday. And so when people probably look at their computers on Monday, my stuff is near the top of their email strings. Yes. So that is that. So before we go any further, in the house, Dr. Tachi is in the house. Good morning. The driving force of Indie Soup Media TV, where you can catch one of the places you can catch repeats of this conversation, edited versions. And in fact, you want to find out more about Indie Soup Media? There you go. Indie Soup TV. Go check it out. And in 5 months, 16,000 YouTube subscribers.
Boom. Nice.
So, and we're the only Canadian platform that's part of it. 16,000, and we get decent views of our replays on that platform. So again, check Dr. Tachi. And actually, Dr. Tachi was on Primetime Saturday with Aisha and Lala this past Saturday with Aisha K. Staggers. Lala was not with us because she was celebrating her 31st wedding anniversary.
All right. Congrats.
31st. So Dr. Tachi came in and they were dropping it down for 2.5 hours.
Yes.
So the replay is available. YouTube and all their platforms that you check me out. So Ryan, what did you
real quick?
Okay, go
I
ahead.
loved in that conversation that they were talking about the importance of sororities and the work that gets done after graduation, and that's when most of the work gets done. It was really interesting insight. I like that.
Well, like I said, 2 incredible Black women, African American women, 2 credible journalists, and 2 members of sororities. And also in the house. Yes, and Minnie on Cam is in the house. Good morning, Minnie on Cam. Thanks for laying it down this past Friday on another episode about the challenges those who have disabilities are faced with. Okay, another here. Oh, Wayne Harris, shout out to Ryan, Ken, and Detailing Nights for taking my truck at a remote location in Saga. Great job.
Yes.
So here's the thing. Ryan lives closer to me than you. And I have to fight to see if I can get him in Scarborough. Well, he was in Scarborough once, but I can't get him a second time. But I guess because you drive big truck, you have more value to Detailing Nights than my little sedan. So that's all right. As long as you're serving, that's all I care about.
That's it. Yes.
All you're serving, that's all I care about. All right. What did you want? You chatted about something before we went on break.
Yeah, so I'm curious the thoughts of our Canadian brethren and sistren. Should we be getting excited about Kamala Harris and her run to the presidency, this campaign that seems to be getting a lot of momentum in the US? But now something interesting. So you might have heard they were doing the Black Men, Win with Black Men group.
Yes, they're doing another. I think they're doing another edition tonight, I think. Or so
one was yesterday. Because I was trying to get into the Zoom meeting, and apparently you can't join from Canada. So that's what it said. It said participants from Canada are not available at this time or something. So I'm curious how connected they are to the Black community in Canada to say like, hey, do we want to support? But Don Lemon, he did have it streaming live on his channel. I think Roland Martin as well. But I'm curious, is there any groups in Canada that are excited about what's happening in the US? So Jamaican, father's Jamaican for Kamala. South Asian, her mother is Indian. So we are Afro-Caribbean, the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. So I'm asking myself, are we supposed to be excited about this? Or is this a US thing and we're supposed to stay completely let them do their thing?
Ryan Knight disappears for 2 weeks, then he comes back with this knowledge bomb. Okay.
Right. So I'm curious to hear
this has many layers, and it's interesting because I know I was the few days after she announced her campaign. Wayne Harris said, "I thought you guys would be talking about this." Well, Wayne, we got guests, we got scheduled, this is where it's opened up. So, family, whether it's especially if it's live or in replay, Kamala Harris. So, there's a few different thoughts I have about this, and they're not going any specific order. Politics is money, right?
They're managing the money.
Right. So the amount of money that's coming in is incredible. Now, I did hear a commentator say, interesting. We've got all these groups like Black Men for Kamala, Black Women for they're donating. Okay, hold on. Comments here. Wayne Harris says, fun fact, my sister was classmates with Kamala Harris. Harris.
That's amazing.
In high school.
Oh,
and then Many on campus says there are Canadians with dual citizenships to the USA. Correct. Getting back, all this money, especially from people who look at us for a campaign, why aren't we donating things like this to neighborhood projects?
Yeah, well, you would hope that because how you get a candidate in is now for them to have agenda items to support you. So it's curious what, like that community project, you would think, okay, Kamala, we're going to support you to get in so that this now project can get funded. But that type of advocacy, I don't think we're organized enough yet about that.
But okay, so let's take it a little bit further.
Yeah.
What is the biggest expense in a campaign? What are the
Advertising.
big- All right. So all that money, a lot of money is going to go to advertising,
True. Yes.
right? The grassroots stuff we will see, but realize this is my thought. We are just commodities, voters. We're commodities because this money that she's donating is going to buy to buy votes through advertising of the voter is a commodity. And remember, in politics, the people who donate the most are the people who get the most attention.
Well, and that's where organization of votes is so important. And what it's interesting to see now, the Win with Black Men, they're actually a PAC. So that voting block becomes important. Like the bigger it gets, the more I would say leverage it has. And not just for Kamala, like for
it ain't bigger than some of the corporate big super PACs that are out there.
I mean, it's not even a super PAC. So, but
that's right.
You have to start organizing, somewhere. And I think this is something that can show the power in PACs. Because how many Black focused PACs are there in the U.S.? I only can name that one. So we haven't gotten the memo. So we have no super PACs. We definitely have very few PACs. So now, why is it that we haven't been putting together these types of PACs before?
Because a lot of times, many of us love symbolism, right? Okay, Mignon Camp says travel. Yes, that is a big expense. She also says they advertise and travel. Yeah, advertise and travel is probably, especially the marketing piece, is the biggest thing. Now, Wayne puts up a good point. Quid pro quo.
Right.
What does the Black community get in return for their vote for Kamala or 45?
I haven't seen the platform. I haven't seen the line item that explains it. So this is where, and I'm curious how long it'll take for Kamala to actually meet with the Black women for Kamala, the Black men for Kamala, and even the white women for Kamala. There was the South Asian one, I think, was put together. So that meeting where it's like we have 60,000 people that are really rallying and campaigning for you, they should have that request. Like, what does those groups want to see happen for the Black community? I'll bet you that the white women for Kamala has an agenda item that they would like to present to her. I'm hoping that our Black two groups also have agenda items that they want to present. It's not only about campaigning and getting votes. Exactly like Wayne Harris said, what is it that we want to see happen in the Black community that if you get in, we can actually hold you accountable? Because that's the one knock on Barack Obama. So
yeah. Well. So and let's expand it. If you look North American, last 100 years, no matter what party is in power, has at the bottom. Well, in Canada, probably it's between the Indigenous and Black, but especially in America, has the economic status culture-wise of Blacks, Africans, raised above other cultures. We're still the lowest in most of the categories, regardless of what party is in there. Regardless of what party is in there.
And was it Dr. Claude Anderson? 0.5% is the ownership of wealth. Still from slavery up all until now, it stayed that small. So what, like, who is actually helping us develop economic empowerment? And every party, no matter what side, we're still at that
still
rate.
The same.
So,
still the same. Well,
and then who's presenting these things to the political parties to say, if you're not going to help us with this, we are not voting for you. And now that there's like a group where we can say, like, we have this, because remember that 50,000, and I'm just talking about the Black men, that now ripples out. So that could influence 500,000, 5 million votes if they're really organized, and because that's 10, 20 people each. So now that type of conversation starts to have leverage if they're organized. Say we want to see an economic empowerment strategy for the Black. I don't know exact, like something very specific. But if they don't do that, it's really wasted effort, because now the question is, if they organize themselves, they have an agenda item they want to present. What if Trump says yes to those demands and Kamala doesn't?
Okay, hold on a second. Here's a better question. For both politicians, who do you believe more?
Valid, but look at, I'm just saying,
so I'm just being in the middle here.
Yes.
Which party, even though none of them have done it really, which party do Blacks, African Americans believe has the potential of helping Black people more? Republicans? Like here's another lens to it. Okay, before we go any further, Mignon Cam, you got some comments first. In my research for the wealth transfer for people with a disability, the gap is huge for the disabled Black community by 36%. The wealth inequality, it's not closing. Absolutely. She also says that report from Fact Sheet, the Biden-Harris administration's work to support disabled Black Americans. From their report, she says, according to U.S. Census Bureau data, the highest poverty rate for Black people with disabilities is 36%, the highest among any group. Okay, we're caught up. I forgot what I was saying before.
Who do you believe more?
Yeah, well, that's another thing too. And what's the lady's name who got killed by the policeman? Oh, we talked about it on Saturday. It just Sonia Massey. Sonia Massey. For those who don't know, if you in the news app, basically she called for help from the police and with a pot in her hand and saying, "I rebuke you." She had no weapons on her. Officer killed her in cold blood.
Jeez. Okay.
But see, there's a lot of different factors that go into it. Now, again, I'm not either side, but just putting things out there. There's something called Project 2025.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know about it, it's a long document, 900 pages long, written by a Republican group called, I can't remember the name of the group, but they have proposals on what they feel if 45 gets in, the way the country should go. One of the things it says there is that police have total immunity.
Right.
Okay. So Drea Rich, yes. To be clear, she had the pot in her hand because he told her to go to the stove. Sonia Massey was murdered. Yes, she was murdered. 100%. Agree with that. She was murdered. But just another thing with this Project 25 document, it's proposing that, if 45 gets in, that police should have total immunity. So in a situation like that, if Project 2025 is adopted by the Republican Party in power, anything a policeman does, they don't have to be accountable.
Madness. Holy moly.
So, but that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, I think the whole political game, it's all money. And yes, I agree with you in regards to that. I'm just going, and the question is this momentum sustainable to an election?
It was about 100 days out.
100 days out. Is it sustainable? And can you amass the forces to do the legwork and groundwork in that short period of time? Heard another commentator say over the weekend saying, well, hold on and she had flaws, but Hillary Clinton, non-melanated woman, had some political experience. She lost to 45.
Okay. And they say the white woman vote was
more for 45.
Right. And that.
So American politics. So Frequency Event Promotions, good to have you here. Says politics is a dirty game. It's not a dirty game. It's a dirty game. It's a dirty game. So I think for me, I in a way would love to see a debate between 45 and Kamala Harris.
Okay, I don't know if he'll show up for that.
Well, there's a lot of debate going on right now because his camp is not approved of a debate. They're saying we're going to wait till she is nominated as a Democratic candidate for the election.
What? But he debated Biden.
But that's another thing they were saying as well. Those debates were arranged with Biden. We don't have anything with Miss Harris yet.
Wow.
That debate is going to be, if it happens, it's probably going to be one of the most watched political events in the last 15, 20 years. Because one of the things that Miss Harris is saying on campaign is, I have no problem. He's a felon. I'm a prosecutor.
Yes. Not just a felon. She said, I've prosecuted sexual predators, businessmen that have done fraud, and people that think they're above the law. So she's seen all of them in court.
Yes.
And that personality. So
and what 45 is doing, he's going to pin a lot of things that Joe Biden did onto her. But the thing is, I don't think, who knows, is he ready for that? And a lot of Republicans are saying, 45, be careful, because if you go sexist on her, not a good look. And can he behave himself? Can he stay on message about Biden's record instead of going? He is attacking her, but he hasn't. I don't think it's on anything sexist, but there's
some weak attack. Listen, Trump, for all that his flaws, he is very good at attacking people and creating narratives around them that stick.
But the thing, it's the same thing. The thing is, it's the same thing over and over again, which is great for his base.
But I'm saying, Kamala, they're so weak. He's calling her laughing Kamala.
Yeah, but the thing is,
her a bum.
Yeah, but the thing is, this is the thing. I don't think. It'll be interesting to know, and hopefully there'll be a documentary. Did they ever think that Kamala would run? Because now they got to change their whole strategy.
He put up a post complaining that, we spent the 4 days at our convention with our strategy against Biden, and now they switched to Kamala Harris. So can we sue for fraud? This was a tweet that he had put out. I was like,
really?
This is how dense some of these tweets are.
See, well, that's the thing. He wasn't ready. He wasn't really expecting this, right?
Well, yeah, because JD Vance, I think, was supposed to debate.
Well, there's another controversy there, right? But we'll take to JD Vance just a moment.
Yes.
Drea Rich says Hillary Clinton was more than qualified. She lost due to sexism. And look at the way women candidates are judged and scrutinized in comparison to men. I agree on that, but I also say during that campaign, she wouldn't campaign in the swing states, and that cost her. So part of it was political. Drea Rich says that man, I guess you're talking about 45, can't behave himself. Dr. Vibe, his comments have been sexist and racist. The media is also complicit in the riot. Yeah, of course, because media is advertising, it's clicks. Lots of media love when 45 talks because it gets attention, it gets views. Again,
that's what got him.
Follow the money, right? Attention and views gets more advertising dollars. So yes, follow the money. Follow the money. Frequency event promotion says, curious, are there any current polling stats? Is America ready for Republicans? Well, they're ready. I think the key thing is, are they ready for a woman? Are they ready for a biracial woman? Now, the thing that Miss Harris has hope for is a lot of people who said, I wasn't going to vote for Biden, but they don't like 45 are now thinking, I can vote for someone different. Right. And the funny thing is now Biden ain't the old man anymore.
That whole narrative is all they were
gone.
So that's why I can see why they're upset that they have to switch.
Right? So younger people said, no, I can't vote for Biden because he's too old.
Right.
Now, can I vote for 45? Because he is it 19?
He's not the old candidate.
He's at least 19 plus years older than Kamala Harris.
Right. because he's 78-ish.
Yes.
Not just 80, I think he'll be 82 after the 4 years if he was to get in.
Right. So the campaign has turned on its head.
Absolutely.
But now our people in Canada, we have a number of audience here. What are you thinking about this?
Yeah, are we supposed to be excited? Because I would say if we was back in, and was it 2008? So as Barack Obama was campaigning and running, if we had known then what we know now, would we have put more effort into supporting that campaign from Canada? So I'm curious now, since I didn't see a lot of action in Canada at that time, and man, that was like 11, 12 years ago now. So at that time, I don't think there was a lot of organization around his campaign in the US. So now, 2024, with I feel Canada and the Black community a lot more organized, is this another moment where we can support that Black candidate? Or would we say to ourselves, no, if we're going to do any organizing and any coming together around politics, it should be focused on what's happening here in Canada and just let the US stuff be the US stuff. And we just need to focus on Black candidates in Canada. Like, should there be that separation, or should we be supporting?
Okay. Okay. So we got some more people. C Nurse K says, morning. It was like Barack Obama and the tan suit so-called controversy created by conservatives. I hope people do the right thing at the polls. Talk is cheap. Frequency Event Promotion says, I think they call it a swing vote. I think that's the right terminology. Yes. C Nurse K says they came up with the most ridiculous quote criticism when they can't find anything substantial. Welcome to the world of politics. Yes.
So that's why I'm so curious what they'll come up with Kamala Harris, because before,
one of the things they said is that she hasn't born. I heard some she hasn't had any children. What relevance is that?
The JD Vance guy keeps talking about that. All of these childless Democrats. Are you going to put
here's the funny thing about, and again, I'm just putting things out because I think the Democrats have a lot of holes too. They got a lot of holes.
Hey, valid.
But JD Vance, JD Vance. Does anyone know the cultural background of his wife?
I saw her. It's South Asian, no?
Yes. So here's a party that loves to be all white,
man,
and has a South Asian. And you know who's really upset about that? Nikki Haley, because Nikki Haley is of South Asian background. And people are saying that Nikki Haley is really upset because Nikki Haley, some people are saying her biggest jealousy was Kamala Harris, because Kamala Harris has South Asian hair, and Nikki Haley wanted to be the face of color, lady-wise, of the party.
Gotcha.
Okay, so Drea Rich says we need to focus on Canadian politics. There's a lot going on here. I agree to that to a certain extent, that we need to focus on Canadian politics, but we're right beside them, family. We're right beside them. We can't avoid, what is this country without, like, the United States is our largest trading partner, right?
Yes.
Let's see. CK Nurse says his wife used to be a Democrat. Are you talking about JD Vance's wife?
I think so. Right.
Okay.
Could you imagine?
Frequency Event Promotion goes, I heard that there was a mention Cornel West and The Rock might be running. Cornel West is running as a third-party candidate.
Gotcha.
The Rock, no. But Cornel West is a third-party candidate. So CK Nurse says that JD Vance's wife used to be a Democrat. Well, believe it or not, so did 45. 45 used to be a big Democratic supporter, and that's another thing to come up, that back in 2011, 45 wrote a $5,000 check to Kamala Harris's campaign.
Yo, they should bring that. If they're going to debate, she should bring that check framed and be like, this guy supports me too. Trump was in the white women for Kamala meeting and just mess with him So I have the proof that he used to support me directly. Yeah.
All right, Tria Rich. Love how the family is keeping the conversation. We're just steering it. You're driving it. Tria Rich says the comments about VP Harris being child-free is part of respectability politics. The idea that politicians who are married are somewhat better.
Right.
Okay.
But it used to be married without divorces and without cheating. That all stuff, like all that's gone out the window. Like with our man Trump, totally dismantled. And this is what's interesting now. So let's say 4 years later now, he had lost. Does the Republican Party put their faith in him again to go up against Kamala in 2028? Because a lot of energy has been put into Trump, and it feels like he is now the I don't want to say the North Star, but he's like the leader.
He is. They call it the MAGA party. They don't call it the Republican Party.
Yeah, like he's totally taking control. So now, if he loses, does that control stay? Because if it does, and he can't beat her, they will lose again. And then does he run? Because he can now keep running. Remember, every time he loses,
he
keeps running. So if he could be like the downfall of the Republican Party if that grip he has doesn't loosen for years to come. He'll always be the candidate, and then the Democrats, if they figured out the algorithm to beat this guy, the Republicans may never get into power again.
Well, Minion Cam says, anytime I get paid from my business, I have to fill out U.S. tax, W8BEN-BN, so we need to know what the USA is doing. I agree. CK Nurse says, according to Vance, he wants people to, quote, gain, unquote, more votes based on how many children they have. Even Republicans don't like him. He may be gone in 10 days, according to the media. Well, the media has lots to say. Drea Riz
that they're talking about Trump maybe picking somebody else, because when he picked JD Vance, they thought they had the election locked up because they were so confident they were going to beat Biden because he's too old, and the debate, I would say, like amplified that. But now he might actually need. They're calling JD Vance the Sarah Palin moment. Like they're saying the pick of him is equivalent to when Sarah Palin was chosen, and that campaign just went sideways. So I have to hear something of substance from this guy. I haven't heard anything of substance.
Well, I'll tell you, the next big moment for Ms. Harris will be the convention and her speech at that convention. That will be, because if she comes out strong and presents that, she may have an opportunity. Let's see here. Drea Rich says, I agree, Dr. Vibe, we are affected by what happens in the U.S. That is why, like Ryan said, we should pay attention here because people like Pierre Poilievre are like 45. Mignon Camp says there is a USA and Canada tax treaty that affects a lot of families' wealth. Drea Rich says, to be clear, my comment about respecting politics extends beyond politics. There is a level of status and respect that is afforded to people who are partnered and with children. Okay.
Gotcha.
Think about this. Okay. And you're reading my alleged mind here, C Nurse K. If 45 wins, Americans may be looking to relocate again. Okay. Let's you got to run frequency event process, so we'll put your comment up. Great conversation here. Got to run. But yes, Canadian American politics matters. From observation, what happens across the border impacts the world. That includes us as well. Agreed. Okay. It didn't happen that long ago, but people think it's a long time. Remember the January 6th invasion on Washington? Could you imagine if 45 loses again? To a woman? To a biracial woman?
And remember, that only had 3 months to run. So we're talking about conspiracy again.
Could you imagine? Look, Washington. If she got elected, Washington would have to be on lockdown.
Oh my goodness.
His supporters, if they did that and they lost to a white man,
right?
If they did that and lost that to a white man, could you imagine what they may do if they lose to a biracial woman who had 100 days?
And to run and beat him, man, their heads will just explode. It'll be...
Well, there'll be explosions, but not just in heads.
Jeez, right.
But just remember, America is under civil war. And the thing is, I think, again, I fully believe the Republicans, I think many Republicans didn't expect this flip, because right now, and also to another thing that 45 doesn't like, he doesn't like not being in the news. This has stole his thunder.
Absolutely.
Right? He is not
all what he's done this for.
He's not the main part of news, and he always likes being part. He likes to be in the front page. He's not right now.
But this is what CNN and other, I'd say, left-leaning media.
CNN ain't left-leaning anymore.
They're definitely not for Trump.
Okay. Well, that's what it's like. If you want left-leaning, MSNBC. They are left-leaning.
But the more that they talked about Trump, that's what allowed him to win the first time, is because on TV was only him. It was all what I'm saying, right? But they didn't realize the more you just ignore him, that completely deflates all his antics and everything. So this shift in perspective and focus, it's definitely what they were not expecting.
Right. So that's the thing. It's the attention and getting out there, and the noise. Again, media has a lot of power, like it or not. And now it's a little bit more like mainstream media still has a lot of power. But the thing is, there is a sector of people who wouldn't vote for Biden that may say, okay, I may go with Harris. Like they would either be undecided or not vote. Then they're now going say, okay. And again, if Ms. Harris has a strong speech at the convention, that makes her. I'm not saying she's gonna win. Like on the weekend, Aisha K. Staggers and Dr. Chai said they think she's gonna win. I go, I think this is gonna be interesting. Like it's gonna be really, really interesting to see what happens over the next 100 days. But if he doesn't debate, I don't know.
That's not going to look good on his.
Well,
his base is going to look like he's scared.
It's a 22, but it could. Well, you obviously, if they debate, you're not going to hear about golf games,
right? But what I'm curious to see is how many white women that were going to vote for Trump.
There you go.
Will shift and vote for Kamala.
Well, that's the thing. When 45 beat Hillary Clinton, the majority of white women voted for 45.
Right. So to see a repeat of that to me feels unlikely. But if that happens, then she's going to have trouble because.
Well, I think where Kamala Harris has an opportunity is to take undecided voters or independent voters and young people's voter. People, right? Because a lot of young people were saying, no, I don't like either Biden or 45. I just can't relate. But now someone who they may be able to relate to, again, biracial, 19 years younger, not the old person in the room. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens in regards to that situation. And it changes. Like these things were Zoom calls. Like there were 40,000 Black women on a Zoom call.
Yeah. So, and the white women one, I think they got up to 130,000. I didn't even know Zoom could handle that. I think it crashed and then it came back. But that was the record for the most people on a Zoom call. They broke that last week.
You're kidding.
Yeah, man, it was intense.
What?
Yeah, isn't
I
that
heard there were a
insane?
lot.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just see. Yeah, here we go. Record breaking. 160,000 attendees last Thursday.
Whoa.
Holy smokes.
So that momentum's there. And like you said, can they continue this momentum for 100 days? And they lucked out that the convention is still coming up. And so they have things that they can just keep it rolling.
So here's another. So they say white women answer the call. A Zoom call inspired by the call by the call for Black women held early this week saw 164,000 women join, setting a world record for the largest Zoom meeting in history. Nearly $2 million was raised in less than 2 hours.
Yes.
Okay, the call that started all was the Sunday Win with Black Women, a group of Black women leaders and organizers within hours of Biden's decision. Saw an astonishing 44,000 participants, raising $1.5 million. So here's the interesting: 164,000 white women, $2 million. 44,000 Black women, $1.5 million.
Right. Yep. Gotta.
And then a Win with Black Men call also inspired had 17,000 donors with $1.3 million support.
Gotcha.
Wow. Hold on a second. Shannon Watts, a prominent gun control activist, organized Thursday's event, which featured speakers including actress Connie Britton, former U.S. star Megan Rapinoe, U.S. House and the musician Pink. That group by Friday raised more than $8.5 million.
Oh, snap.
So
That's serious.
So 200,000. Yeah. So they are heading to $10 million. So exit polls found 52% of white women eligible to vote in 2016 cast their ballot for 45, a figure which helped tilt the election in 45's favor. At that time, he was running against Hillary Clinton, who hoped to be the first female president. The majority of white women voted for Trump again. So, quote, a majority of white women have voted for Republican candidates since 2000 presidential election, when white women were almost equally split between Democrat Al Gore and Republican Victor George W. Bush, according to the Center of American Women in Politics at American University. In contrast, a large majority of Black, Latinx, and Asian women have supported the Democratic candidate for the entirety of the time period which data disaggregated by gender and race was available. Wow, so this is fierce. This is fierce, but again, money. Let's have some more comments here. Let's just see. Okay. Mignon Camp says they will storm the castle. They will. If I was Kamala Harris, I got to make sure if someone could take down 45, she better be careful.
Absolutely.
Right? So Mignon Camp says all they did was get an enterprise package from Zoom. Dr. Tachi, well, you know what side she's on. She goes, people are all in. Actually, Dr. Tachi, I'd be very curious. You live in Florida, a very Republican place. I don't know if much you talk to people down in Florida, but I'd be very surprised. What are people saying when you chat, if they're willing to chat about the election? Because I just feel a little bit the Republicans are a little bit on their heels, but a lot of them are just saying, this energy won't last. It's just short term. But on the other hand, the support for 45 from his base has been always continuous.
Right. That is a steady drumbeat. So now they have to hope, because Kamala has gone above their, I would say, steady drumbeat. The only hope they have is that the momentum fades. So they have to hope that, because if it just continues, he has no chance.
Well, I wouldn't say he has no chance. Again, the American system is based on the Electoral College, right?
No, but I'm saying if they continue the momentum from the last 2 weeks, to
Oh, yeah.
election date, that
Could be.
is like he would have no chance. It has to die down for them to have a chance.
Well, like I said, I think the convention is in the next 2 weeks, so the energy is going to be high there. It's still coming. It's going to be high coming to the convention. The thing is, again, how does she perform? How unified the Democrats look at the convention and her speech at the convention, and then what happens? Will that energy continue? Because one of the main differences between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, just from my lens, Democrats have various, how can I say, sectors,
Interest groups.
whereas the Republicans,
It's one interest.
power.
Right.
Whereas the Republicans have different factions. You got progressives, you got this, you got that. Can they pull it together for 100 and something days? And now like I said, if that debate happens, boy, that
be in September. I think
be in September.
Okay, yeah.
If that debate happens, oh gosh, I'm sure that networks are negotiating. Can't wait if to see if 45 will say yes. And could you imagine how much advertising will be selling for that debate? Well, they don't do breaks, but how much a network would have to pay for that debate?
Gotcha. Right.
You know, that would be crazy. Dr. Tachi says, and the momentum won't fade because people realize that democracy is at stake. Do they, though? Do Americans really recognize that democracy is at stake? And then she says, of course they can. Well, we'll see.
See it?
We'll see. I look, anything can happen in an election. And again, we only have 100 days. So the thing is, the momentum. I'm reading some articles here still saying that 45 is marginally ahead. Marginally ahead. So we'll see.
But that's the momentum, because he was inching away from Biden, and now it's going in reverse where Kamala is inching towards him. So I can see why their camp is nervous.
So this, just reading a report here, the 6 closest Biden won states in 2020 were Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. Also, another key thing will be when she gets nominated, who will she pick as vice president?
Right, that is the hot topic.
Yeah, then it says those states: Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. These are the considered key states in this election. It's likely that 45 has about a 2-point edge in the key states relative to the national popular vote. So Harris will need to win nationally by about 2 points to win. This is
watching.
Well, it's a choice if you want to watch, but I think what happens is going to be very, very interesting over the next few years, next few months. And I think that, can you imagine if Ms. Harris won, Jamaica would be in celebration.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. The JCA, are they getting excited for this, or are they quiet?
But also, it's going to be interesting too, because she is married to a non-melanated gentleman who is Jewish.
Right.
So, going to be there's so many different moving parts in this campaign. Like, obviously, the attention is definitely on Ms. Harris, and again, she is front page news.
Yes,
she is. That is going to be really key. Go ahead.
I'm curious what the outlandish thing that Trump will need to do to get back on the front page. Something is coming, and it'll either be his downfall because it'll be so ridiculous that people will just fall out of favor, or it's going to be the thing that gets him back on front page and CNN talking about him all the time, and the momentum will shift to him. So something that's going to come out of his mouth is going to be that he has to spark interest in himself again. Like, so, and he always does it through saying outlandish things. So I'm curious what that is going to be coming up. But yeah, I'm curious where the attack is going to come from.
So I'm just reading a really interesting article here out today. It's titled "Beyond Hoopla, Democrats Anxious About Harris." And I'll just read the first few paragraphs. Beyond the public jubilation over Vice President Harris's swift rise to become the party's likely nominee for president, Democratic lawmakers are privately anxious about her prospects of defeating 45, acknowledging she is largely untested as a candidate and faces serious challenges. The anxiety, for most part, has been set aside out of a deep sense of relief that 45 decided to drop. Oh no, President Biden decided to drop out of the re-election bid. After months of unease over the 81-year-old incumbent, Democratic lawmakers are glad to rally behind Harris and hope she will rev up the Democratic donors along with young and minority voters. But concerns are already bubbling up over Harris's ability to connect, as well as Biden did in 2020, with white working class and union voters in 3 states that were critical to defeating 45, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Quote, "She wasn't a great candidate," unquote, one Democratic senator said of Harris's performance as a presidential candidate in 2020 when she pulled out of the primary before the Iowa caucuses. Quote, "And she may not be as a political campaigner good as Biden was in his prime," unquote, the senator added. The lawmaker argued Harris's pure political skills won't be as crucial to her success now that almost the entire Democratic Party is rallying behind her now that she has a clear path to nomination when the Democratic National Committee holds its virtual proceedings early next month. Quote, "She is not campaigning in a primary. She is the candidate. She's got thousands of people working for her, and she's got a team of the smartest people, many of them have worked with her over the years," unquote. But the senator warned Harris won't have an easy path to victory. Quote, "We need to be very clear-eyed, and it's going to be brutally tough," unquote, the lawmaker said. Emerson College poll of registered voters in swing states conducted July 22nd and 23rd found 45 leading Harris 46 to 45% in Michigan, 48 to 46% in Pennsylvania, and while the 2 candidates were tied in Wisconsin. So Senator Bernie Sanders and his allies say Harris needs to do a lot more to win over blue-collar voters in these states. They weren't happy that Biden got shoved off the ticket after working closely with his top advisors to craft a progressive economic plan for the first 100 days of his second term. Quote, "For her to become president, she's going to have to be talking about the issues that impact 60% of the Americans, working people who are living paycheck to paycheck," Sanders told The Hill last week. A Democratic strategist allied with Sanders said it's not clear Harris will be a stronger candidate than Biden in November. And the source noted that she was more associated with defending abortion rights than voting rights than tackling economic inequality during the 3.5 years as vice president. A major cause for concern among Democrats is third-party candidate Robert Kennedy Jr. could wind up sucking up the votes a lot of culturally conservative, union-aligned, working-class voters in the industrial Midwest. Okay, so there's more on the article, but I just wanted to read that. Let me see here. More comments here. Dr. Tachi, as we talked about last Saturday, we need to sway away from the negative talk, from any negative talk, including can, she, will, she narratives. She has grassroots power, something that the other side does not have. Drea Rich says, "I was thinking it would be amazing if Black people here in Canada collectively raised money to support some Black little candidates like they did on Zoom calls last week." Good suggestion. Organized Black vote. Are you watching? Right. Minnie on Cam says, "We need to break the status quo and give women power to run the country." Drea Rich says, Dr. Tachi says, "Drea Rich, an excellent thought. I'm not sure what the kind of campaign finance rules around that would be." And then Drea Rich, Dr. Tachi says, "Drea Rich, oh, I think you mean for Black Canadians." Yeah, she's talking about supporting Black Canadian candidates, Black supporting Black Canadian candidates. There is an organization based here in the Greater Toronto area called Organized Black Vote. I wonder if they're watching what's going on in the U.S.
Right. Oh, Operation Black Vote.
Yes. I wonder if they're watching what's happening with that campaign. Drea Rich says, I agree with Dr. Tachi's comments about not focusing on the negative. Well, that's what politics is these days. Focusing on the negative. You know, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. And she says, yes. Drea Rich says, yes, Dr. Tachi, I mean for Black Canadians. Yeah. A lot of politics these days is focused on the negative, unfortunately. Not a lot about policy. It's what the other people, what they are not instead of what we are.
Yeah, and I feel like her current speeches is shifting away from that. I know typically the attack ads are all negative, but it does feel like she wants to run a positive campaign. And I think that's the type of momentum that if she's able to keep that to election day, she would be in good shape. If she gets into the weeds of how Trump attacks and tries to go tit for tat with him, I don't think that'll be a good look. But hey,
well, again, does it go back to the whole thing when, like Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high? Does she go high, or does she want to rumble? Like she can go with 45. Right, but she's just gonna talk about the felon bit, and like, you know, wouldn't it be hilarious if she pulled up that check?
Right, that's
I wouldn't put it past her. I wouldn't put it past her.
Oh man,
that would be crazy. So, what's up for the rest of the week, Dr. Knight?
Yeah, this week seems very admin heavy. You know, so the Carnival, Caravana is happening on
Caravana.
So I'm not sure who else is going out to enjoy Caravana. The walk is too long for me. I typically do not go, but supporting businesses that will have vendor booths along the route. So definitely shout out to those, and the Festival Management Committee, FMC. They had their business support cohort. So shout out to Michelle. I was able to speak to some of the graduates. So it was cool getting to talk to entrepreneurs that have gone through their training. So all in all, this week seems a bit quiet, but for those heading out to the carnival, enjoy yourselves.
Yes, Ameribana. Yeah. People going, what do you mean Ameribana? Well, it is called Caravana to celebrate Caribbean, but there's so many Americans that come up here for that weekend. Right. I call it Ameribana.
Yes.
America. Oh, look at this. Dr. Tachi says, yes, it's Carnival. I haven't been since 1996.
What?
One day we got to get Dr. Tachi up here.
2025. That'll be Project 2025. Getting Dr. Tachi up to Caravana.
Good take. Love that take. That is a strong take. That is, oh my gosh, that was good. That was good. That Project 2025. Getting, you know, if she comes up here, Divine Right has to come up here too. So you know,
right.
That's the project. That was good, right?
And we'll get who's the gentleman that's in Australia?
Australia. Yeah. Oh yes, haven't heard from him in a while.
Yeah.
David, what's his last name? Can't remember his last name.
And is it Lars from Colorado?
No, JJ Mars.
JJ Mars. Yeah. We got to get our international viewers up to Canada for something.
You're kicking me now. What is his name? David. Oh, what's his name? I'm just trying to check quickly in my email if I could see. What's his name?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking quick to see if I can see if I got any. No. That's gonna bug me. David from Australia. He hasn't been in for a while.
Right.
But let me just do something really quick. Toast Masters. Let me just see if I can find his. No, I can't find it. But you know what? Let's see if Google treats me right here.
All
That's
right.
David Toastmasters. But yeah, Australia. Okay, yeah. Okay. Nah, it's not gonna. Can't. Well, it's my head, not my heart. I can't remember his last name. Ah, but he does drop in once in a while. He's the furthest person we've ever had away tune into live on a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
I appreciate that.
So will we be seeing you on Friday?
Yeah, I'm scheduled to be here. Love to chat it up with Dr. Wayne Harris. Looking forward to it.
I love that. Dr. Wayne Harris.
Financial doctor.
Yes, financial doctor. So as we said, upcoming things then this week. First of all, tomorrow night, if you're around, that's July 30th, live at 9 p.m. I'm going to be hosting a conversation about Toronto guns and gangs. 9 p.m. So I'll have a subject matter expert. Left That Culture. So check that out. Then Friday, we have Wayne Harris coming up talking about Financial Concepts for the Culture Part 2 on Financial First Fridays. We have here. As always, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Get us to 1,600 subscribers. And remember, August 12th, live, we'll be doing a giveaway for those people who are checking us live on August 12th. Giveaway to celebrate 1,500 subscribers. Also follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Also, to advertise your business, product, or service on the platform, email me, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. Then also to join the Discord group, email me. If you want to, when you can, catch Ryan O'Neill Knight. That's his email address, not his website address, RyanO'NeillKnight.com, LinkedIn, Ryan O'Neill Knight, Instagram at Ryan.99. Email, workwithme, RyanO'NeillKnight.com. No, work with me at RyanO'NeillKnight.com. Let me get that right, especially for people who are listening. Website address, the drvibeshow.com for me, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. The Dr. Vibe Show, Instagram at the drvibeshow.com, X/Twitter at drvibeshow, and email dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. And we'll let it scroll for a few seconds. These are the different places you can catch replays of this epic conversation. The Dr. Vibe Show, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, Afro-Caribbean Business Network on Facebook and YouTube, and Ryan O'Neill Knight YouTube. Ryan, we watching Cars this week?
Always. When the sun is out. Today, I think it's raining Tuesday, Wednesday, but we'll find some sunspots.
Well, you've had this weekend, prime time. Was a lot of good weather this weekend.
Oh, beautiful. Yes.
A lot of good weather this weekend. All right. So, family, we are done. We will see you on the Morning Vibe on Friday. If not, if you can catch us tomorrow night, very important conversation in regards to guns and gangs in the Toronto landscape, because guns and gang activity has risen significantly in Toronto this year, this summer compared to last summer. So, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions. And don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourselves grace. We will see you on Friday. And I'm adding now something at the end in honor of Dr. March. Keep fighting. We'll see you then.